Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well out there. Today, I wanted to jump on and do a WTF reading. So, if you've received some kind of shock, this is supposed to help you kind of make sense of it and decide what to do next. So, you begin the reading with the Strength card. Ooh, and the Three of Swords. So I see that you're normally a very confident person and somebody who's normally very in control of themselves. You usually don't let your emotions get the better of you. But right now, you've had some kind of shock and heartbreak that is really challenging that. And I think also challenging the image that you have of yourself. Like, your self image has been hurt in some way by this situation. So we'll pull some more cards to go deeper, but I definitely see that your self confidence has been shaken. The World in reverse. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So right now, you might be feeling so heartbroken. It's like, I will never get past this. And it might even feel almost like your life is over, like you're always going to be on this downward spiral. But you're not. With the world here, Spirit is kind of saying, like, it's not over until it's over. So you can't count yourself out, and you have to continue to be confident and believe in yourself through this heartache and understand that this too shall pass. And Shakespeare wrote those words 500 years ago because feeling like you can't go on when you're in the dark night of the soul, when you're at your lowest, when you've hit rock bottom, feeling like you can't go on is a really common experience. Like, people go through that all the time. Even if on the outside it seems like everything's fine in their life, and no, like, everybody goes through that. Most people have this time in their life where they feel like they cannot conquer, they won't overcome, it's always going to be bad from here on out, and that's just not the truth. You're still in the middle of this cycle, and right now is a turning point. And it's a very difficult point, but it's also getting you near the end of this journey. Like, you're at the halfway point, and if you can just get over this really difficult moment, the rest of the journey will be a lot easier. But if you give up now, it's like you'll just have to repeat this cycle again. Okay, so you have the Four of Cups in reverse. So you might want to get a little bit more information about mental health and even like depression, because I think you want to avoid your mental health slowing down your healing and your moving on at this time. So you might need a little bit more information about how you can avoid spiraling down mentally, and where you just start to see everything with like a really negative taint. and instead how to keep moving on and forward and healing from this shock that you've been through. There is help around you, there is help available. Um, so again, like you have to believe in yourself. And if you find yourself really struggling, like can't get out of bed in the morning kind of thing, yeah, I think you want to really love yourself and maybe reach out to somebody who can help you with your mental health. Okay. What you can do right now is really do things differently from how you normally do them. Like, that is really strong here. Like, I get this sense that you tend to be way too hard on yourself and push through because you are so confident and you are so strong. It's like you can kind of push yourself and be like, oh, like, I'm not going to let that situation get to me. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to move forward. I'm going to move on. Well, in a lot of situations that's good, but in this situation you do kind of need to reach out to somebody who's really good at what they do. So you don't want to, like, if you were to go to a counselor and you're not clicking with this person and you leave the session feeling worse than when you started, then that's like who you want to avoid. Okay? But because you're so strong, you usually power through. But I feel like that's kind of what spirit might be trying to teach you, is that you can reach out for help, and that's okay. It's okay to need help. It doesn't make you weak. It actually will make you stronger in the end, because instead of letting this get to you and like hurt you even worse than it already has, you'll begin the process of healing much more quickly if you reach out for some help right now. Privileged lady. Pathway. And family room. So I see that like you may have felt like this is a big disruption to your family, and maybe you need to make some choices when it comes to relationships, but I don't feel like it's all bad. Like when I see pathway, this is actually bringing you to a point of change and putting you on your highest path. And maybe for a long, long time, your life was about your family and your status, and it felt like everything was very settled, very calm. And now this has really thrown a wrench, and you're like, well, I always thought my life would go this way. I always thought I'd be on this path. And now suddenly, it's all been taken away from me, like the rug's been pulled out from under me. And this is the dark night of the soul, and that's what spirit's coming through to understand, help you to understand, is that what's actually happening is that you're transforming and you're getting on your higher path, you're getting on your highest path. And so, what you've done in life up until now has been very important, and there's been a lot of really big lessons, but this now is going to transform you so you can move into a different, better phase of life, and one that is more fulfilling, and where you're going to grow and become a person that is so different from who you are now. Like, you might not even recognize the you from now, but I mean that in the best way possible. Right now, it feels like I mean that in the worst way possible. But no, like spirit is coming through to encourage you and to help you to understand that had you always stayed in this situation, you wouldn't have grown and expanded the way you are about to. As long as you continue to keep the faith in yourself and in the universe, and always talking with your spiritual team, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides, however you connect, always talk to them, and you're going to really really grow here. Yeah, see, this is actually going to end up being a gift. You don't see it now, but you will. And that's why, again, like you might want to reach out for help if things don't start to improve for you. But this is actually going to transform you. And I just see a lot of golden light. And it's like you ascend, you become somebody bigger than you ever were before. It's like having that status, it was a good time, right? Like I see someone sipping champagne, they're on a boat, they're having a nice time. But without this, it's like you wouldn't have gone as deep as you're about to go. Your relationships would not be as deep as they're about to be. There's this huge internal growth and expansion that's about to happen because of this situation. And you will really heal yourself, and then I think in the future you'll be in a position to heal others. And the gift of that will be so much bigger than money, status, all that kind of 3D material stuff that, it's comfortable, that's wonderful, but now it's time to look to your spiritual world and realize that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and it's time to really get on your spiritual path. And what you wish for now, it's like you would, if someone said like, what would be your biggest wish, it might be something material now, but in the future it would be something that has to do with your soul and your wellness, because you've grown so far beyond, like needing the approval of others and for others to be impressed by what you have, and how well do you stack up against others. It's like that is about to become so irrelevant the more that you accept what has happened and move on. And I'm seeing like the 7 stages of grief. And so you might even want to look into that, because once you move through all the phases, like right now you're in denial, but once you reach acceptance, that's when you can be reborn. So as difficult as this is, I feel actually positive feelings about it. It's like I see the compassion that your spiritual team feels, but I also see that they're like sort of I don't want to say excited, like that's not quite the right word, but they're pleased that like now you can really get on your spiritual path and begin to hear them. So I feel like if you trust in the universe and take care of yourself emotionally, that's the path you want to take at this time. Oh my gosh. And to wrap up the reading, we have the 4 of Wands. And that's what Spirit wants you to know. Like in the future, you are going to have so much joy and contentment, and it's so much deeper and more deeply rooted in the spiritual than what you're experiencing now. And I do feel like in the future you will have a really, really deep partnership and connection, one that is so fruitful and compassionate and loving that it's like the love spreads out to other people in your community, in your family. It's just so rich and abundant and bountiful and joyful. I just can't say enough positive words for what I'm feeling when you get past this phase and you're on your spiritual path. Give it some time, and I feel like life is going to be so much more fulfilling in the future than it ever has been in the past or right now. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you in the next one. Take care.